I think I fixed it, guys. We'll see. We got one strikeout. That means $10,000 already. Yay, here we go. Oh, I'm glad you guys. Shout out to Daniel Paul, by the way, for helping me fix this, and Anthony Lorenzen. Y'all are the real MVPs here. Bauer should have gone to the Yanks. Trevor's gotta get ahead of people in the count. I will say that. It's one thing that I know frustrates him. Turn video back up. Nice. Yeah, I know. Also, he needs a new color glove. We're working on that part, but you know, Rachel needs a vacation. Yeah, she does. I was at his start versus the Rockies. Yes, thank you, Anthony Lorenzen, for helping me here. You guys, the real MVPs. I have this figured out for next time, though, so we'll have nothing will go wrong, hopefully. I also was just on a call with a writer that I had to hop off of to do this, so I had negative seconds to figure all this out. Dude, Bieber is crushing, right? I mean, he's an animal, but love to see it. Back to back, yeah, for Biebs. What happened to the Built Bars? It was just through the free agency. That was the contract. But I still have so many Built Bars. I'm interested in being an agent. How did you become one? For everyone who wants to know, by the way, that question or is curious, listen to the podcast Leadership is Female. It's by Emily Jansen, who is the GM for the Reno Aces. I think it's episode 6 I'm on, but I tell my whole story. It's not just for girls, by the way. Guys, listen to it too. All right, another strikeout. Let's go. Are we gonna get Bauer's sword little strikeout celebration? How many? Maybe we'll get the McGregor walk today. He needs to put the Bauer outage on his cleats. He's got a bunch of cleat designs and different things that are coming. So take a shot for every strikeout. Yeah, I'm a lightweight, guys. That would not end well. Dude, Tatis looks fuego in these unis. I'm a big fan of it.
Is 4-4-28 to begin the year.
There you go. He's gonna get. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of sword merch coming. I still like the eye patch. How many people would love to go to a game and for a Bauer day get an eye patch?
Ball 2.
I don't know if the whole game. Creating content. Creating a content company isn't necessarily the best thing. And every athlete shouldn't build a content company, but they should make content absolutely to build their brand. No doubt. Wait, what joke's in the eye patch? I don't get it. For the eye patch. All right. One inning down. One day I'm going to show you guys my Bauer imitation of his walk off the mound. It's I just think it's absurd. It's always like no emotion half the time. And he does this like weird thing with his hand. Not the McGregor strut though, but just his normal like lifeless walk off the mat. Momentum John Boy collab. Where they John Boy was on an episode of Bauer Bites actually. You're my Ninja Warrior episode. I think it's supposed to air Memorial Day. Yeah. I didn't train for that though, guys, so wasn't great. Gonna be live streaming. If it's something you guys are interested in, potentially we'll stream more games. I do think I want to start doing that. Doing more on my YouTube. So maybe we'll have to stream more games. These games are so fun though because they're it's April 18th now, and I think there's just so much energy and tension in this series. But I am still an OG Giants LA rivalry person. And it's weird hearing everyone in San Diego chant be LA. I guess everyone just hates LA. Rachel, does Bauer use a foreign substance? Need to stream it as well. Can you stream at game? I feel like I post a lot on my stories though, which always helps people know where I am. But I do love when people come and say hi. Hey, thanks, Thomas. Chant started in Sac though. Wait, did it? BL, like what is it? The River Cats or? Oh, you guys are so sweet. Yeah, it's a silly question. Does he? I mean, why ask every pitcher if they use a foreign substance? I'm not sure you're gonna get an answer from anyone, whether they do or don't. Neil, I feel like MLB has a ways to go before having some sort of national relevance. However, I do think like players being more into the content game and putting themselves out there more is helpful. I love you people that just make shit up from what I say. Add a flat brim snapback to my merch. Okay, I'll write that one down actually. Snapback. I like the dad hats though. Yeah. Are there San Diego? I'm curious. Are there San Diego people on here? San Diego fans? If there are. He says close. I have a few. I had one shirt for kids. I'm gonna put more on there though. Where are my Padres people? I love my Padres fans. Okay. Well, let's be nice. Let's not say. All right. Smith is. I'm impressed with Smith, by the way. Okay, you work for the Padres. Ain't real fans. I used to hate on the on the Dodger fan base though, because a lot of the Dodger fans that I knew were always like fair weather fans. But I have learned that there are some legit. There is actually a legit Dodger fan base, but I think there's a portion of every city that has like the fair weather fans. Everyone at UCLA and Pepperdine, like I feel like the West Side usually um they like pretend to be Dodger fans, but they're not like real Dodger fans. But do I love LA fans now? I think LA fans are, yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah. All right, Chris. I want to know though. The reason I asked if there are Padre fans on here is I'm curious. Like, how are you guys feeling about the Snell and Darvish acquisitions? Just genuinely curious. Sign a Venezuelan player. I love my Venezuelans. I will try to live stream maybe one day at a game. I think it'd be really hard though with like the connection and all that. I'm going to tell everyone on Instagram right now too that guys, I am live now on YouTube, so head on over there and we can chat. Trevor like his new LA house. Yeah, this is the first time I think he's ever had a house that he's lived in, which I think he appreciates not being in an apartment. And he had a pretty decent apartment. It was a big apartment in Cincinnati. But he's really wanted to have like a garage where he can, because he wants to bring his McLaren. And so he's always wanted a private garage. So that's why he wanted a house. He does. He loves it. He loves his teammates. He's really having a good time. I do know he was really close though with Cincinnati and those guys. So I know he does miss them, but he's enjoying LA. Or I hope you guys are loving his videos, by the way, the vlogs, because I think that's so cool. I mean, how often do you guys get to see into the clubhouse of a player? You're a Reds fan. Go Reds. I'm a Reds fan too, I guess. The vlogs are dope. The intro. Oh yeah. Oh, I was there when he filmed that. I made him reword a few things because first one was aggressive. Also, have you guys noticed that Muncy he's kind of like he breaks up. He seems to be the peacemaker. I feel like he's the last 2 games when there's been tension and benches cleared or whatever. Muncy's always the guy who like tries to calm things down. Thank you. I'm glad you're happy that Trevor came to LA. Trevor used to joke with me actually about he used to ask me, he's like, could you ever be my agent? Because like, what if you had to negotiate with LA? And because he always knew I was a Giants fan, and I know he actually didn't really ever want to play in LA or in California. Really, taxes suck. So he used to be like pretty adamant about that actually. But I told him when he asked me that, I was like, of course, I can negotiate against the Dodgers. I'll just, make them bleed money and spend a lot on you. I'm fine with that. What teammate? Trevor believes that the son now is going to become the father. So I think he thinks it's his time to now become the man in the house with Machado, but we'll see. What teammate has he been closest to so far? I mean, him and Walker have always been good friends. So I know they're friends. He likes a lot of the guys. Gonsolin, who else? Like Smith. He likes all the guys. Kirsch. I haven't. Yeah, he likes them all. What is holding Puig back? Unfortunately, there's the it seems to be the civil lawsuit, which I know he's going to end up beating, but it's unfortunate that that seems to be what's keeping him right now out of a job. Are you like an MLB reporter? I'm not an MLB reporter at all. No, I just represent players. You guys need help with the Yankees.
Wanted it down and in, catches the top of the zone. The curveball. Caratini makes the adjustment, catches it, sticks it, brings it down a little bit. Still Cuzzy behind home plate brings him up. 2 down in the second inning for Sheldon Noisy.
Petco is like my favorite place, especially, oh man, day games, the sun. I love it. It's the only reason I like it more than Oracle is the weather's better, actually. Also, I think it's, why am I listening to the oh shit, you guys can hear it, huh? Duh. Because I think it's on MLB Network is what I just put it on. So I hate all sports because favorite stadium. Yes, by the way, Mets, not a lot. Actually, I've gotten a lot of like fan mail from Mets fans who are like, we secretly love you still and Bauer, but which is funny. But favorite stadium, Oracle. But I'm biased, like I'm from up here, but I actually do think it's beautiful. But love Petco. Love, what is it, Truist? That was nasty. Love, so Atlanta's new ballpark is sick. Who else? I went and drove by during quarantine, actually, the Rangers' new ballpark and like the whole area that they have set up around the ballpark, which is awesome. Fenway, amazing. Wrigley, amazing. But those are just like the historic nature of it. Coors is sick. Just went there for the first time. Love T-Mobile, Mariners. I think Kansas City, like Kauffman, is actually cool, but it's in the middle of nowhere. I hate going to that ballpark. I think Rogers Center in Toronto is sick. I love getting to see like just like it's just a really cool atmosphere there. Does Trevor have advice? I have been to PNC Park. That's a beautiful ballpark as well. And I love ballparks that are right in the like heart of the city. One, because it's easy to kind of get to it. I like being able to walk, and I just think it's really cool. Gaslamp. Oh hell yeah. Pacific Beach. Yeah. My older brother actually lives in Point Loma. He just bought a place there. So press box, work through the team staff. So being an agent at a game, that's a good question. It's so oftentimes I am alone at the game, and it's not the typical fan experience. I'm usually doing work on my phone. If I'm there for a specific player watching, I'm paying attention when they're kind of out there. But other than that, oftentimes I have to take a step out. I take phone calls. A lot of times I'm, doing work emails on my phone, that kind of stuff. But it's not a very traditional fan experience. I don't usually eat, like, I don't get the ballpark food really. Usually just kind of bring my own. If it's a home game, like for a player, and I get tickets that way, usually I can just like bring my own food and kind of go through a back entrance. But if visiting or, player I'm there to see is a visiting team, then, traditional route I go through. Prediction for Trevor. I'm hoping for like 12, at least 12 strikeouts. Any advice for young girls trying to get into sports? Just like, if you're passionate about it, don't let anyone tell you that because you're a girl you can't do it. And you're gonna have to like know your shit better right now, unfortunately, than most, because people will test you. But just, kind of keep at it. And oh, come on. Trevor. All right, daddy's still daddy. God damn it. Oh my god. Trevor better get something off him, because he's been talking a big game to all his people about how he's the new daddy. I'll rip him though on Twitter. Is there a good Manny Machado gif? I mean, there we go. Boom. Boom. Also, I will say, it's so nice when you have a pitcher like out there, when they're on a team with good defense behind them. It's a huge relief, because there's nothing like more frustrating than just errors in defense. How do I divide between all your clients? I mean, I have other people that work for me as well that help out, but not everyone usually needs stuff all at once. But I spend most of my day, like, it's a full-time, like 24-hour a day job. There's no days off, weekends, like that's not a thing. One of my younger brothers, sometimes like he'll call me and I'm like, I'm working, I can't talk, and he'll be like, it's 11:30 p.m. like on, a Sunday. What do you mean you're working? I'm like, yes, like this is my job. I don't get to, like, there'll be times like right now where I can do this and have fun with you guys. But then if a client or someone needs something, like, I gotta go do that kind of thing. I plan to go to some games in San Diego. Yes, especially I'm gonna go visit my brother hopefully at some point. Are you the one that on the is Thomas? Thomas, are you the one that Jess Kleinschmidt thinks this is funny about me and Ben Verlander? Ben Verlander's a homie. I love Ben Verlander. How do I deal with? Oh, come on, dude. I feel like that could have gotten it. Sponsors for Trevor. There are usually it's like stuff that Trevor likes to use that we kind of engage with. Because we try to keep it authentic to who he is. Trade talks. Agents, usually we can inquire we can talk to the team and be like, listen, is this going to happen? Kind of gauge their sentiment on it. But in general, like, especially if a player, isn't on a free agent kind of contract and doesn't have any, like, no trade stuff. But usually if there's none of that, then agents really don't have any like involvement in trades. I mean, we can suggest like, hey, just so you know, we highly suggest for these reasons, like, don't trade him there. But ultimately it's like what we say doesn't matter. How inspiring is it to be a female agent with big name players? I mean, it's cool for me because it's what I wanted to do, and so many people told me I couldn't do it. But I hope it's inspiring to other people, young girls as well. Do I edit my vlogs? No, someone with momentum edits my vlogs. There you go. Come on.
Strike one.
How close was Trevor actually to go to the Mets? Pretty damn close. How do I get new clients as an agent? Develop relationships with them and pitch them on kind of what I can offer, and if they want to make the switch, they will. Another agent, who would I consider my main rival? I'd like to think Scott Boras is my main rival. No, I don't think really there are any agents that are my main rival because no one's doing what I'm doing. So, where is my Dodger gear? I've got my Lewis Sports gear today because I love the Padres and the Dodgers. I don't generally wear actually like team gear, just because, again, I know people get confused about this on social media, and they like think I'm a fan of the team. Like, I mean, I love watching good baseball, but like I'm a fan of players. So like I am a fan. There are players on the Padres like who I love and support and will root for. Until the postseason, usually, then I'm gonna like root specifically for a team. But guys, wait. Vin Scully just started following me, so today's a good day. Look at that. Just like 2 seconds ago. We got another strikeout. What would I do for my career first of all, I think the better way to say is not if I wasn't a female agent. If I wasn't an agent, what would I do? It's a good question. I mean, like, a part of me would love to be a travel blogger because I love traveling. If only Vinny was watching. If he is on his burner, what's up, Vinny? You're the GOAT. Everyone in baseball, like he follows, I think, like a fair amount of like there's 223 people, but like people in the industry, he'll follow them. I remember like when Carabas first got followed by him, and he was like, oh my god, freaking out. Jess did, and like she was like so excited, and I remember just being like, when am I gonna be cool enough? So today I became cool enough to be followed by freaking Vin Scully. Where did I get? Okay, for anyone who doesn't know why I have the nickname Chalupa, so right around this time last year, during quarantine, so Bauer was making YouTube videos, and I was in my first YouTube video with him. We were explaining something like with the negotiation kind of process of what was going on, and he introduced me as I'm here with my agent, Rachel Luba, and YouTube put subtitles on it. We didn't even realize this, but someone in the comment section noticed and commented, did anyone else realize that YouTube subtitles or transcribed when he said, I'm here with Rachel Luba, it transcribed it as Ray Chalupa. And we saw that, and like Trevor saw it, and he was like dying laughing, thought it was the funniest thing ever. And it like took a life of its own, and that has become my name. People see me in public, they're like Chalupa, and I'm like, oh my god, how did we get to a place where people are yelling Chalupa at me? But it's like my name, and my family now, when they see Taco Bell commercials and Chalupa, they hear Chalupas, they like laugh and look at me. So it's just that's become my nickname. It's evolved into a few other things. Trevor says, like, Trevor's got other versions of it. Someone there, I was writing or talking with someone in the NPB in Japan, and they addressed me. They say like Rachel-san. It's like respectful, and yeah, like it's a respectful way to talk to someone or address someone. And so Trevor turned he said my Japanese version of my name is Taco-san. So. Snell feels off today. Were the Angels one of the teams interested in Bauer? Yeah, they did express interest. How much of a language barrier do you encounter? Yes, so I can read and write Spanish fluently. I can understand it. It takes me a little bit to warm up. I lived in Spain for a year after I graduated UCLA a year early. Lived in Spain for a year, just got a job, moved there. It was scary as shit. Didn't know anyone. Yeah, so I usually when I talk to Yaciel will speak to me in Spanish, and I just respond in English because it's easier, and he understands it, and I understand when he talks to me in Spanish, but we speak two different languages to each other. Is that actually Ben Verlander? I don't know if you have a fake account, but hi, buddy, if it is you. 8 clap, hell yeah. Snell's just not. It ain't it today. I'm also going to be curious to see, like, throughout the season how they use Snell, because he's never really pitched that many innings ever in a season, and it's hard to tell if that's like just because he just really doesn't have that kind of durability, which isn't necessarily uncommon for pitchers, but or if it was just how Tampa utilized him, because they are so heavily analytically driven and with how they use their rotation. What is my nationality? I'm like Russian, Israeli. But fun fact, when I lived in Spain, people used to think that I was Venezuelan, specifically Venezuelan. I never understood it, but I think because my Spanish accent was more of Latin America. And I guess I looked Venezuelan. And I had a UCLA gymnastics teammate, actually, her mom. She's from Japan. But she always referred to me as the Latina. And my teammate was like, she's not at all. But is this live stuff easy? I don't know. This is my first time doing it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. How did I decide to start my own agency? I got an offer, actually. Well, one, I wanted to do it differently, and I had been thinking about that for a while. And then I actually got an offer at a really big agency to be an agent. And I was initially going to come on as a consultant to help fix their salary arbitration process because they needed help. And then it was like a month into kind of negotiating what that deal and contract would look like. And some of the owners of the agency approached me and were like, actually, what if we just brought you on as a full-time agent? And at first I was like, oh my God, this is what I've been wanting and like working towards for like years. And then I started to realize that the value that they saw in me was because I was a female. It wasn't because like how I could actually help them. It wasn't because what I could do. It was my gender that was so valuable. And it was a really hard thing to turn down, but I eventually realized that I wanted someone to see me for what I can do, not just see, my gender and like that's an asset or whatever. So I decided, I don't want to be anyone else's token female, just be my own. And I really did believe there was a better way to do this. And so I turned down the offer to actually be an agent at this big agency and, kept my initial desire. I told them I'll still, consult for you guys and help revamp this while I was in the process of ultimately starting my own agency. And they said they didn't need help, which I think is silly, but so I just went on my own. Yeah, boss shit. Look at that. That was good. How many strikeouts does Snell have tonight? What are we at? College class, I mean, nothing in college is going to help you really, other than if you study like statistics, analytics, that kind of stuff, or coding. Learn how to code. That's helpful. He's got 5. All right. What does Bauer have? What was my least favorite part of Bauer's free agency? The idiots in the media. How difficult was it to start my own business? It's not easy. 3 strikeouts. Damn it. All right, Bauer's got to step it up. When did I first meet Trevor? I met him in a class in college, like 11 years ago. Would I ever consider taking a front office role? I had thought about it. Like I applied to an internship for baseball ops for the Reds, actually, when I was in law school, just to get that experience, because I thought it would be helpful for being an agent. But I don't really have an interest on being on that side of it, at least like not right now. I like helping the individual athlete. How tall am I? I always thought 5 feet, but recently, like a couple weeks ago, I measured myself with my cousin who is 4'11", claimed to be 4'11", but I was a lot taller. I was like, "You're not 4'11", and she freaked out. She's like, "Don't take that away from me." So we decided to settle it, and turns out I think I grew recently. Gymnastics, I think, like stunt your growth, forever. But so I think I'm 5'2" now, somewhere between 5'8" and 5'2". Um, what is the level of stress in my profession? It's like it can be very stressful. Because you're dealing with high profile athletes who can get very frustrated at certain things, or if things don't go their way. And you're the middleman kind of, so they take it out on you a lot of times, and you gotta, basically you gotta like put out fires, and you gotta, they entrust you with a lot. So it can be very stressful. Cap on spending? No, I don't think there should be a salary cap. Puig isn't high profile. Okay.
Swing a foul that glances off Caratini, pretty flush. Got it pretty good.
What do you consider an easy day on the job? Just if it's like every now and then I have days where I'm just kind of catching up with players, things going well, yeah, good, like, great. They have a great game. That's the best, like seeing them have success. I've heard so many arguments about, or so many people talk about how there should be a cap or a floor. I think, and I've tried to get Bauer to do this, and it would be really hard to set it up, but I do think it would be so fascinating if think about it, like some of the biggest players in MLB, in the NBA, in the NFL, and the NHL, and you sat them down at a table and have them talk. Because I listened to Bauer do it in one of his Bauer Bites episodes with Devon Kennard, who is with the Cardinals, plays football, and linebacker, I'm not sure. But he's very involved with the NFLPA, and they sat down and talked about just, both of them were like shocked at the differences, and oh wow, like your spring training is like that, and the season, really long season, and the way, an NFL player views what a baseball player goes through versus, vice versa. And I always thought it'd be really interesting to have like big players from all different sports talk about like, what's it like, being in the NBA and, having a cap and things like that. Because I think people always think, oh, the grass is greener, or, NBA fans might think, yeah, this is better, but NBA players don't necessarily like it at all. So I just think it would be interesting to hear them all talk about that kind of stuff.
60th pitch is up and away. What's dancing out there at second base was Mookie Betts. A big secondary lead.
The Bauer and Puig on the same team, so I didn't even realize that until like a month or two ago. Someone else brought it up, and I was like, holy shit, with the exception of Arizona. It's like they were opposite, because Bauer, Cleveland, then you had Puig with the Dodgers, and then Puig goes to Cincinnati, then they were traded for each other, right? And then, so Puig went to Cleveland, Trevor to Cincy, and then now Trevor's with the Dodgers. Would I represent a professional soccer player? I have been to New Mexico, by the way. I drove through it last year, right before season started. It's beautiful. Soccer, yeah, I would, when I expand. Hopefully next off season we'll do the throwing competition with Puig and Bauer. They're funny together, Puig and Bauer, when they they'll banter with each other on. So if I'm like FaceTiming one of them and with the other. Come to an LA Galaxy game. I've only been to. I went when I was younger. I went to a game, a soccer game to watch Mia Hamm. I thought she was badass when I was little. And I had a neighbor who was a soccer player, and she loved, that stuff. So I went with her. But I've never actually been to a men's soccer game. Not to get into. What advice would you give someone trying not to get into the sports industry? Shouldn't be that hard. No one's going to force you. I do want to come to a game at Wrigley this summer. I might go when the Reds are playing there. One of my clients, he's the assistant pitching coach for the Reds. It's his birthday that weekend, and he's actually grew up like in Iowa, but with big Cubs fan, so that'll be a cool experience for him.
Bouncing in and blocked by Caratini. Bounce the curveball. That's on. Yeah, Caratini has smothered more than a handful of pitches already.
These games are way less stressful doing it live or going live with you guys, as opposed to just being stressed and watching Bauer pitch. So thank you. I have been to Fenway. I love Fenway. Actually, a lot of my family is from Boston, and most of my family, they're big Red Sox fans.
2-2 pitch. That's ball 3.
Did I buy that sick G-Wagon at the dealership? No, I want to. What ballparks have? I haven't been to all the ballparks yet. I have a few more to go. Yes, you can be my Uber driver when I go to Austin. What do I think of the new MLB extra innings rule? I think it's interesting, but I also what do you do? I don't know how I feel about it, in terms of stats, for pitchers. Have I been to Citi Field? No, I haven't actually. Arenado deal or Lindor deal, which was better? I mean, they're, but for what they are, they're both they're good. That's what they should have gotten kind of on the market. Obviously, I think Arenado, I knew from I'm friends with Arenado, and I remember he was saying right before that, spring training, when he ended up signing the extension with the Rockies, he didn't plan on signing an extension. He planned on going to free agency, and I don't think he really had plans of staying in Colorado. But, when things started happening, things started happening, and then obviously, money was offered. They did, I guess, give him a commitment, they're going to build and, try to win. And then things didn't happen. So, but I think going into it, he never really had a desire at the start to sign an extension there. And I think he did plan to kind of go through free agency. And I think that's a perfect example, by the way, guys, of how money doesn't necessarily buy happiness. And that's one of the reasons why, so many people will say Trevor's stupid for, wanting to do shorter term deals, but he wants to be happy. He doesn't ever want to be in a situation like Arenado, who was very unhappy. He got money, but he was not happy in Colorado. Favorite NFL team, 49ers. Atlanta. 7-inning games. So the 7-inning game thing, I was it was fine for last season. I thought it was silly how they started it like mid 60 game season because there were like two, I think, double headers. I think Cleveland had played one. I forget the other teams, but that didn't go by the 7-inning rule. And so it was implemented like mid 60 game season, but whatever. That whole season was weird. I think it's weird they're doing it this year. I'm not a fan of that. I thought it was fine for having to improvise last year, but do you get recognized way more now at games than you used to? Yeah, I never got recognized until this year, and it's weird. And the first time Bauer actually was on his blog when we were in LA for his press conference, and someone across the street or like down the street saw us on the street. We were walking to grab food, and they yelled out, "Trevor!" No, they waved at us, so we waved. Trevor waved back. I didn't because I'm usually like they're waving at Trevor. And then the person like followed us, saw us from, kind of tried to catch up to us. We crossed the street, and then we hear he's gotta start off with a strike. The person yelled, "Rachel!" And I was so confused. I was like, "Wait, what?" And I turn around, and then he asked me to sign some stuff. Oh, this is just so nonchalant. Grabs the ball. But then I was like, "You want me to sign this? Why?" I was like, "I don't even know what I'm doing." And then I signed, as I'm assigning it, I was still so confused and rattled. I'm like, "Why don't you want Trevor to sign this?" He was like, "Is Trevor here?" And Trevor's filming this on his vlog. And I was like, "He's right there." So, but yeah, it's my hair, I think. You recognize a lot. I've gotten recognized in like airports and random places. The clear guy, the guy who checks you in and clear in airports in Denver. It's not like he even saw my name yet because I was just standing in line, and then he was about to bring me to one of the scanners for my eyes. And right when he goes to like grab me next, I wasn't wearing anything identifying, and he was just like, "Hey, good game last night, right?" I was like, "Wait, what?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Love what you're doing, by the way. Keep it up." And I was like, "Oh, all right." Just like a middle-aged guy. Oh no, what are we doing? We're talking about sticky substances, huh? Thank you. You know what's funny? So when I worked at the MLBPA, I remember asking one of the other attorneys there, and I was like, "What's the deal with like, why don't they crack down on the sticky stuff thing?" And the attorney, who's like been there for years, he was like, "No, they're never going to. We don't want to." MLB doesn't. Check Bauer's balls. Oh my God. What a sign. I'm going to get a shirt, by the way. It's going to say, like, "Can I inspect your balls?" I don't know if it's because I'm not watching this as closely as I normally do, but I don't feel like Trevor's on his A game. Don't get that shirt. Why? I think it's fantastic. It's gonna be like a corked up shirt, so it's not gonna be part of like my brand. Or it's gonna say like Chief Ball Inspector. Too many weirdos. If you think that I don't already deal with weirdos, you're crazy. I already deal with it. Like, might as well have fun with it. Oh, trust me, he's already, yeah. He sent me lots of mock-ups of designs of things he wants. I'm like, can we just not right now?
The catcher might have something on his equipment that might alter something on the baseball shoe. Help the pitcher out. Keep an eye on dark shin guards, right? Right. High fly ball down the right field line as Mookie Betts.
Can it move?
In Fairground, making the catch that ends the third inning. We're going to the fourth.
All right, going to the fourth. From the recent vlog. Guys, I'm so rattled that Evan Scully's following me. I feel like I just want to, tweet him. If I get nervous watching Trevor pitch. Yeah. There was 2018 when if he didn't get hit at that line drive, he would have won the Cy Young, I think. And obviously last year, those were really fun years to watch. Seasons where they're not, maybe as great. Really stressful. Just because also you talk to them and sometimes they're when players are going through periods where they're just struggling, anyone who's played, I think, knows sometimes there's nothing, a lot of times they're just at a loss. How do I get out of this slump? And I think it's it's a very heartbreaking thing too, especially as someone who was an athlete and I can't help them. I don't like watching. I get stressed out in, especially in the postseason or just big game situations. I hate it. And a lot of times if Bauer's in a jam and I'm at the game, if I'm not at the game, I turn the TV off. If I'm at the game, I walk to the bathroom and I learned I have to bring headphones because they play it in the speaker, the play-by-play guys. And I don't want to hear it. But I can't watch it. I don't like having not having the ability to affect the outcome. I'm totally fine under pressure, when I'm competing, because I know it's under my control. I don't like it when I have no control and I'm just watching. I'm watching the game on MLB Network. I think I've been in. I was in Marcus Stroman's salary arbitration hearing. So that was with the Blue Jays. How many phone calls? So, a fun fact, I hate the phone. I used to have the worst anxiety on the phone too. It's gotten a lot better because I just don't have a choice. I wish someone would have told me, warned me that being an agent, so you're gonna have to get used to it. People did kind of, but I didn't believe it. I used to be able to look at my call log and scroll to the bottom, and the calls from down there were from a year ago. That's how infrequently I call people. He dotted that. That was how infrequently I called people. And then now the calls at the bottom of my call log will be from 10 minutes ago sometimes. It's ridiculous. Official. What happened with American Ninja Warrior? I was on it. I competed. It just hasn't aired yet. Thank you. My lip color, it's a MAC blush, I think it's called. Just a gloss, a clear gloss. That's true. Maybe the guy, if he wanted, that first agent I talked to, if he wanted to dissuade me from being an agent, are going into baseball, instead of saying you're a girl, that would have been exactly what I needed, clearly. If he just said it's a lot of phone calls, I'd been like, all right, peace, I'm out. Do you have a way to prioritize the phone calls? It depends on, like, if they're urgent, if I have to take it, if it's something that, like, if I'm on the phone with someone, if it's, I'm not usually going to hang up unless I know an incoming call is urgent. It's an emergency, like I have to take it. I always tell players, if it is something urgent or like they need me, like just text me, like this is urgent, I need this. But it's not usually that hard. Although at night, like when I sleep, I have everything muted except for my like clients if they call.
She'll say she's got goals. And since she's got goals, she might need help reaching.
As an agent, what happens if your client sits out during contract negotiations? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't know if you're talking. Yeah, I don't understand that question. They don't. I mean, they have to show up for salary arbitration, but like they have to show up for that. But the rest of it, they can't sit out. I mean, ultimately, I can't agree to something unless they agree to it. So, how do GMs get your number? I think MLB has like a list of agents, like, and their contact info. So agents or GMs had no problem getting my number and reaching out. Preller actually, I think, was like one of the first to reach out to me. Some GMs I'm like pretty close with. Depends on, obviously I'm newer in the industry, so I haven't had too many dealings with them. Having Bauer was helpful to get to know a lot of them. You should make a t-shirt for all the Twitter trolls. I should. I need to give me some good ideas though for it. Has anyone sat up like in the nosebleeds at games? I think it would be, I don't know if I would like it. I just feel like you'd be better off watching on TV. I also feel like I'm not scared of heights, but if you were, I feel like that could be a little creepy. Compare my bank account. Will Trevor believe that Vince Scully requested to follow you? I mean, he's gonna. What do you mean? He'll see it. I've never been in the nosebleeds at Dodger Stadium. I'll have to go take a walk up there. When Trevor got traded from Cleveland to Cincinnati, and he went to get his stuff at the ballpark and there was a game going on, and security kind of walked us up and kind of let us see from like up at the very top where no fans can go, but they like took us up there, and that was such a cool view. I have a picture of it. One day I'll post like something of that, but it's cool.
This is the first time he's ever pitched at Petco Park. I found that odd as well. Got 0-4 record against Padres in his career, 5.06 earned run average. It's a 1-2 and a fly.
Oh, come on, dude. He needs to not give up home runs because it kills his F4, his Fangraphs WAR. And he knows that. He's very not happy about it. At least, though, it's a solo. It used to happen like, oh man, was it 2019? every time he gave up a home run, it was like right after he walked like 2 people. Just the timing, not great. Yeah, Bauer has not. This is his first time pitching at Petco. I think there's like 1 or 2 other. He's never been to Citi Field. I know that. Yeah, sadly, spaces were empty. I just can't get over "Beat LA" being chanted. There you go. All right. I love Turner. I love watching him. I have to text Jess that Vince Scully finally followed me. Will I ever get a new puppy? One day, but we love Toby and Alfie. All right, come on. Become the daddy.
So good, and there are the numbers of the mastery of Machado over Bauer at 6-11.
Come on, Trevor. All right. Is anyone else's phone, by the way, ahead of the game? Because every time I watch, like, people get mad at me because my phone will get an update of what happens at the at bat before we see it like on TV. Trevor. Oh, all right. Yes, we know Machado's daddy right now, but Trevor believes that every father-son relationship has a moment where the son becomes the father and owns him, and that's what he thinks is going to happen. That's what he thinks is going to happen. Please don't walk him. You guys remember that picture when Trevor hugged Machado right after he had signed? I was there when it happened. Oh my God. When Trevor saw Machado, that moment, he was like, oh, give me a hug. Come on, Trev. No, every fucking time, dude. Sorry. Yeah, see, Anthony Lorenzen knows.
He's 2 for 2 today. 1 out, and Derek Hosmer.
Are we a fan, guys, of the flow that Bauer's growing out? I try to convince him to grow it out longer, but he says it's a lot of work. He doesn't like it.
Hosmer bounced into a 4-6-3 double play. Second inning. Shift on him on the right side to bring the third base.
When my American Ninja Warrior episode airs, Bauer's on it. My family's on it. Bauer had fun watching, I think, like roles reversed, watching me compete. It's all about the flow.
I'm surprised by that. When he won the Cy Young, Bauer was talking about first Reds pitcher to win the National League Cy Young Award ever. That's incredible, isn't it? With the history of that team, 1876. Very surprising.
Isn't that crazy that the Reds, Trevor was the first Cy Young winner for the, and that's like the first baseball team. It's wild. I always tell Nick Kroll, their GM, you did good there. You traded for your first Cy Young winner. Everyone criticized that trade initially.
Hosmer fouls it off by the Padres dugout. Of course, Padres house on the first base side. Here we go, Mark. Here we go.
I want one of these camo jerseys. I don't like the logo the mascot thing. I'm not a fan of that. It always looks like when I see it from a distance, it looks like a witch on a broomstick to me. Probably the only one, but
Crowds it. 2-2. Another curveball.
come on, Trev.
Homer to begin the inning. Tatis with a loud out and a hot shot to third. Machado with a big hit by the third baseman Turner. 2-2 to Hosmer. Runner goes. Hosmer goes
Dude.
short. Let's stay out of the double play. The third first is in time. Because they started them, they stay out of the BP. Now a quick word from Machado. In 2021, supporting your
Yeah, I know. He's been falling behind. He knows. Don't worry.
2 outs. Machado in scoring position at second base. Comes Tommy Pham. They have walked in the second inning. The only walk allowed by Trevor Bauer. Ball one.
So glad to see Pham back out there after scary incident that happened. He was at our Sandlot game, that fundraiser that we did right when everything shut down. We had two managers or team captains for the Sandlot game. It was Eric Gagne and Tommy Pham. Pham was so funny. Just such great commentary. There you go. You got lucky there. Signing with NL, if everything else was equal, that would have played into it, but it was a tough climate, tough market to go into for Bauer. Coming off a shortened season, COVID-19 really hurt a lot of teams. A lot of the big players that usually are competing they weren't gonna spend. So there's always only going to be a few teams that can pay the cream of the crop, just like with Garrett Cole. Only really probably what the Dodgers and the Yankees could have paid that contract. So it for the cream of the crop, people are always like, you didn't have enough teams in it. How do you only get only a handful of teams can pay something like that. So, but that being said, obviously, I think you would rather not have to hit. Also, I do think very soon we will see a universal DH. I'm surprised we didn't see it this year. I love Gagne. Gagne is the best. I love him too. The Angels, yeah, but they do traditional big offers like that. They did go after. I mean, they were interested in Trevor. Trevor wasn't interested though necessarily, and ultimately in a big contract, like a long-term contract like that. Come on, there you go, boom. Thoughts on expanded playoffs? I don't like how my biggest issue with it is I don't want teams that have a losing record to be able to make the postseason. I'm out on that. Like that happened last year. The Astros were the one team that made the postseason that had a losing record. Like, I don't think he deserved to be in the playoffs, but I'm not totally against it. I think that if the players are going to give that to the teams, they better get something in return, and we'll see that with the CBA when that gets negotiated this next off season, because the players get basically nothing in the postseason. For a guy who's making the minimum, Trevor and I actually did a whole YouTube video on this. So from last year, if you guys want to check it out, we break it down. But they get playoff shares, so it's very different. They're not getting paid their salaries. Their salaries go through the end of regular season. Postseason, you get paid based on shares, depending on how far you advance. And it's I think it's 30% they get of ticket sales. For I think the most a player's ever gotten, I think, for a playoff share was I want to say it was Colin McHugh in 2017 when they won the World Series with an asterisk by it. But I think got 450,000. If you're making the minimum, like a majority of players who are getting 560 this year, 560,000. That's a lot. That's almost double your salary. But for guys who are making 20, 30 million, they're getting paid nothing for the postseason. Do I think there will be a strike? So it'll actually be it's actually kind of impossible to be a strike. It would be a lockout. The reason there was a strike is last time was in 95, because the CBA was renegotiated in the middle of the season. So if there was no agreement, players could choose to just not show up to work. That would be a strike. They changed it after that. So now the CBA is negotiated in the off season. So you don't have this weird mid-season, dilemma. But because of that, it would be a lockout. Players can't strike if the owners the owners would have to, if they don't come to an agreement, the owners will just say, well, we're not going to pay you. So they would be locked out versus a strike. I know that's semantics, but it's different. So do I think there will be a lockout? I think there's definitely a good chance, given the current state of the relationship between the two parties right now, with how things stand and the position that they're in, players.
Foul back to the screen. Do it again, 1-2.
Am I involved in the CBA at all? We kind of help our players, and the players ultimately, like, it's supposed to be they are represented on behalf of the MLBPA. I don't work for the MLBPA anymore, so I won't be like directly involved with any of that. Do I have friendship with other agents? So I got to know a lot of agents from just my over the years of trying to kind of break into the industry, and I am friends with several agents. I it was hard for me. I never really wanted it to be like this. I didn't want them to like suddenly hate me because I did have a good relationship with a lot of them. Um, but I think that's one of the nice parts about doing it differently and having a different model is that while most agents actually like hate each other and they are really mean and they shit talk each other, I don't have to necessarily recruit by being mean to any other agents. I like a lot of them. A lot of them do a really good job, but I think, the difference is with my agency, it's not to say like I'm going to do a better job necessarily than your agent, but it's just my model makes more sense. Have I ever seen Trevor hit a home run? Oh, he's never hit a home run. I've always asked him, like, what would you do if you hit a home run? It's like, I hope you just, like, you got to go out with that. That will be, like, the peak of his baseball career. I hope one day he hits one. Bartola Colon, my man. Big sexy.
Sonny, I got to tell you, I find myself chuckling. And there was a line you used last night, and I absolutely love it because I just adore
opinions or thoughts on the commissioner.
When you said it was 3-2 out,
I think he's smart. He does a good job being a businessman and getting the best, maybe like financially, like the best deal kind of like for the owners and what they want. I don't necessarily think he's good for the sport. And I don't think he has that vision. I think he's, I don't think he has that vision. Well, a fun fact or a fun story. One of the big lawyers at the commissioner's office, who I got to know during salary arbitration, when I worked at the MLBPA, and like there is tension between the MLBPA lawyers and the commissioner's office. And one day I just happened to I rarely look on my website, for like my merchandise. It's through a third party right now. That's like what I use. I went to go, though I was sending somebody a shirt. So I went on, I happened to just kind of look at it, and I saw like the past orders. And one of the first ones that was like right at the top was a name. I was like, wait, I know that name. And it was like it was the name of one of the big lawyers at Guys, that was the best contact he's ever had, I think. But anyways, I saw the name and I realized, I was like, oh my God, I know this guy. So I looked, and it's like his address was, I knew where he lived, and I was like, yeah, that's him. And he had ordered one of my like crop tops or something, or not crop top. That's what I was going to send him. He ordered one of my shirts. So I just sent him an email, like as if it was a thank you for for your purchase, but it was like just me sending him an email that I saw that was left on the order like receipt, and I was like, hey, saw you ordered a shirt for me. Not sure exactly what you're gonna do with it, but I hope you enjoy it. Kind of like winky face to let him know that I know you bought a shirt for me, and you could tell he was like, oh fuck, I got caught. And he was like, yeah, I was going to wear it during like salary arbitration hearings this year. It's like, they all know who I am. And he's like, I thought it would be like, bring some, fun, like, I don't know, good energy or something to the MLB office or whatever. I was like, Yeah, well, I was like, I appreciate Luba Sports appreciates the commissioner's office, supporting Luba Sports. But I'm gonna send him a crop top one of these days. I know Trevor almost hit a home run. We'll speak it into existence. Why do I throw shade at so many other agents and reporters, but get mad when shade is thrown at me? I don't throw shade at a lot of agents. I throw shade at the way the industry operates. And again, that's not at agents specifically. That's just at the agent industry. Because it's an industry I work in and I want to make it better. I throw shade at reporters who, again, like I have a podcast. My co-host is a media person. I don't hate media, but media that doesn't do their job or like that makes things up, and that I believe there are some media members that are I don't think they do a good job, and I don't think they do like investigative work. And I think most people would agree that reporters and like journalists now, what they put out there is hardly journalism. There are still some that do really great work. They actually do research. They actually tell stories. They actually find good information. But a lot of them are just, to me, it's gossipy. It's not even it's not real journalism anymore. I think Twitter changed a lot of that and changed the dynamics of the media. And so yeah, I shit on media people because nobody holds them accountable. I asked Passant one time. We were on a call and I was like, I'm curious because there were false reports coming out. And I was like, where do you guys even make this stuff up from? Like, because some of it it's just like they would say that we were meeting with a team that we had not even spoken to yet. And I was like, where do you come up with this stuff? And so we started talking about it. And I asked him, he was like, look, ask me whatever you want. I'll answer it. And I was like, okay, like, do you guys, first of all, like, do you get bonuses for being the first to break a story? He was like, I don't, some do. Like, what happens? Do you ever get held accountable? Like when you tell false things? Because I think it was a couple of years ago or like several years ago, I think with the Nationals, they studied the media and like journalists and writers and put a number to like the accuracy rate of reporters. And it's like 0.06% or something ridiculous. And I was like, are you held accountable for putting out false things that are just blatant, like they're just wrong? Not just like maybe rumors or whatever, but sometimes like they say things that are just it's a lie. And he was like, it depends. Some do, some don't. And so like I believe in accountability. Like you don't just get to put things out there. And I think the problem is that so many fans don't realize that there are angles for writers too. Like there are writers that get paid, under the table, things like that. Like they have angles too. They're not necessarily unbiased, journalists or whatever. Not anymore, at least. So, that's why I throw shade at them. No, I hold them fucking accountable. Wait, has anyone heard of, or maybe I'm late to this party, but the Savannah Bananas baseball team, because I just started following them, and actually Bauer was telling me about them. I'm the biggest fan, and they were telling me to come out to a game, so I might try to go out to one of their games. It's an like independent ball team, but they are redesigning the way like baseball's played. And I'm not saying like it's gonna ever become a thing in MLB, but it is so fucking cool. I'm gonna go out to a game literally because I want to experience this. It's the coolest thing. There's like a time limit on the game. The rules are just like completely different. The fans are involved. So like if a foul ball flies into the stands, if a fan catches it, it's an out. But just so many cool things. The way that they're using social media. they do like hype stuff like weigh-ins before game. It's just it's hilarious. It's amazing. It's great entertainment. I'm a big fan. Savannah Bananas, the coolest.
You like Carol's? I like Carol's, yeah. DK. Sweet boss, great hair. Probably my favorite part is I really like
Any advice on getting started as an agent? Just kind of it helps to become an expert, like have some sort of niche area that you are an expert where you can add value, because so many people have a law degree. Not actually, not everyone, but even then, it's like, okay, you have a law degree, but a lot of times agents, if you're not bringing them a client who will essentially pay your salary and cover your salary, then they usually aren't going to hire you, kind of thing. Did Trevor have any interest? Yes, we talked to the Blue Jays. Giants are sneaky good this year. Are you asking if I'm a Giants fan? Come on. Yes, I'm a Giants fan. I grew up a Giants fan.
coming up here. That is in the dirt.
I'm probably, by the way, guys, after this half inning, gonna sign off because I gotta hop on another call. It's not urgent, but oh. Guys, that's always like me. I feel like gymnasts are notorious for that. Like, we can do crazy flips and then we fall walking up, or like we fall and like eat shit after we land our dismount like perfectly, and then we eat shit like walking off the podium or something. Bachel Loop. Yeah, I am Bay Area, NorCal. Yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. This was actually fun. I'll do it again. Let's first get out of this happening, you know. And if something goes awry after I log off, I might hop right back on because I am super stupid. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It was actually I really enjoyed this.
That's great too.
All right.
Son Kim has come out on deck. That would be Snell's spot. I believe Snell has shown 95 pitches through 5 through the shift for the Dodgers.
Okay, so Snell is out of the game. 95 pitches. I think this was something I've talked with a lot of other people in the industry about, just kind of speculating as to, you know, Snell has never really been known to go deep into games, which the Padres right now, with you've got Lement and Clev out, they need, you know, pitching help. Someone that can take him deep. And Snell's never really been, that's not to say he's not a good pitcher, but, oh, motherfucker. Okay. Sorry. But I think that it's interesting to see, or a lot of people were curious to see whether he would be kept long in games. What is Trevor doing?
Here on
I love Will Smith. I said that earlier, but I think he's great. Does Trevor give me anxiety? Yes. I would never have guessed that Chalupa swears. Oh, I swear all the time. Sometimes people are mean to me on social media and they're like, ew, this girl swears all the time because, like, oh, it's not polite or it's not very, ladylike to swear. Sometimes when I walk into, I've been in rooms, by the way, with like guys in the industry initially who like they'll swear, they'll say something kind of maybe like raunchy or whatever, and they'll look at me and like, shit, sorry. And I'm always just like, I've heard way worse. There you go. And so sometimes like to kind of like disarm them, I'll have to like drop a few cuss words so that they're like, okay, she swear, like we're good. But then I always get the people on social media who are like, ew, like it's so unladylike, and they're, ooh, that was good framing. I have my dad is always like, he's never been a fan of my mouth and how much I cuss. Machado still owns Bauer. You are correct for now. Mm-hmm. I'm here for the cursing. I'm glad you enjoy it. Don't tell my dad. I told him I've gotten better in life. I am good, like in professional situations nowadays, like doesn't really apply because everyone swears, but come on.
You and I are housed in the Padres home TV booth, and we are
Come on.
up here with a great vantage point on this ball game. Fly ball, foul. Not ahead and sent a long way.
What's his pitch count right now? The 83 pitches. The dude pitches like 120, no problem. Oh my God, Game 7 against the Giants. If Bauer's, I gotta root for my client, but like, I will wear Giant stuff too, and it will. Yeah, I saw it was 83, but someone was saying his pitch count's high. Thomas, his pitch count is not high. Not high for any starting pitcher, let alone Bauer. He always asks. He's really respectful of and knows like ask before just putting them on the vlog. But a lot of them, some it takes them a little bit to ease up or like warm up to it. But usually they're he'll ask them and they're fine with being on the vlog. But he'll never put anyone that doesn't want to be on it. I started my agency in October of 2019. Possibly, he would like probably, again, he's comfortable going like 120 pitches and gets mad if you pull him before that. Oh, he got lucky. All right, guys. I had fun. Thank you for joining me. I'll try to do this again, and you guys will have to hop back on and stream with me. It was fun. But enjoy the rest of the game and keep rooting for Bauer.